Well, it's Pac-12 volleyball on the Palouse from Bowler Gymnasium in Pullman, Washington, as the 22nd ranked Washington State University Cougars get to play their second straight weekend at home. And this week they will welcome in the Colorado Buffaloes, not only for a match this afternoon, but for another match coming up on what will be Saturday morning, as the Cougs, after splitting a couple of matches last weekend with the UCLA Bruins, they come in 4-2 overall and again ranked 22nd in the country. And they get ready to take on a Colorado Buffaloes team that by their own right has played some excellent volleyball this season. They're 4-0 this year in all 4 matches played at Boulder, so they get their first road test of the season. Meanwhile, for the Colorado Buffaloes, they have had an experienced group make their way back for the spring of 2021. They've got good offense, but they've also been fantastic in defense so far this season. As a matter of fact, Colorado so far is continuing to be one of the better blocking teams throughout the Pac-12 conference. As a matter of fact, they're the 2 toughest defenses in the conference, and how about Jenny Ewert? She's been fantastic so far with 20 blocks, and she leads the conference in blocks per set at just over 1.3. Meanwhile, for the Washington State University Cougars, again splitting with UCLA last weekend, and when they got their win on what was Thursday, they got their block going late in the set and late in the match, and with that, it was the likes of Kalia Williams and Magda Yahalasheva at the net, along with some of their teammates. But how about Kalia Williams so far this season? The Cougs have gotten 50 kills, 6 aces, and a Pac-12 best 30 blocks for the sophomore. Magda Yahalasheva not too far behind with 28 blocks so far this year. Meanwhile, as far as the standings are concerned, we mentioned Colorado a perfect 4-0. Only Utah with a 6-0 mark a little bit better. The Cougars right there as well in a tie for 4th place, sitting 4-2. They play a couple of times, and we're getting ready for the first one. It's Colorado and Washington State from Bowler Gymnasium, and it's next on Pac-12+. Meanwhile, the Cougars just now getting their lineup started, and it's a lot of freshmen and sophomores. That includes Kalia Williams on the outside, also another sophomore and Pia Timmer stationed on the outside. The freshman, Juliana Dalton, also an outside hitter. Middle blocker, Magda Yahalasheva. Hannah Pukas is your setter, and they will start with Julian Norval in the back row as a defensive specialist, and Aria McCumber is your libero for Jen Greeny, the head coach of the Washington State University Cougars. The Cougs 4-2 so far this season. Meanwhile, Colorado a perfect 4-0. This is Colorado's first road match of 2021. And for the Cougars, after their split against the UCLA Bruins just last week, they come in ranked 22nd in the country, as Jen Greeny looking to take this team to try and go to 5 consecutive NCAA tournaments. Meanwhile, the Colorado Buffaloes, we talked about their defense, and these are 2 of the better defensive teams. But Colorado also doing great on the offensive side of things, as you saw there, hit 386 in their last match. And you've also got 2 of the best blocking teams so far in the Pac-12 conference going up against one another. Jen Greeny, again, patrolling the sidelines for Washington State, has done such a great job in her 10th season at Washington State. 4 straight NCAA tournament appearances, including the trip to the Sweet 16 in 2018 and back in the tournament last year, and certainly looking and hoping that she's got a team, albeit very young, that's ready to head off to the NCAA tournament once again. Jesse Mahoney, meanwhile, has got the Buffaloes off to the great start. He is the 5th Colorado head coach. He was named that back in 2015. Reached the Sweet 16 in his 2nd season. And again, 4-0 to start this season, and wants to keep the good times rolling in Boulder to start off this 2021 campaign. Again, it's 2 matches each week against the same opponent in the same location. So Washington State and Colorado not only meeting here this afternoon, but it'll be the same 2 teams that get together in what will be a matchup on Saturday morning. The lineups are in. The officials, Margie Ray and Ben Goodwin, have looked at the numbers, and we are set to go with Pia Timmer, the sophomore from Germany, to get this match underway between Washington State and Colorado. So glad to have you with us here on Pac-12+. Well, Margie Ray has tweeted the whistle, so here's Pia Timmer and the match underway. It is an overpass, and it is going to be a back row attack whistled against the Colorado Buffaloes, and with that, it's going to be a point to Washington State. An excellent serve from Pia Timmer. You've also got two of the better teams when it comes to serving. Again, the sophomore from Germany has been one of the better servers all season long for Washington State. Tries the same spot on the court, dealt with better on the pass that time. There's a block that stays on the Cougars side. And now a back row attack from Timmer that's going to miss long. And it's going to be a side out over to the Buffaloes. So checking in for Colorado, they will bring in their first substitution, and that's going to be a substitution that makes her way in. Zoe Neverdowski, as she is in, junior out of Houston, Texas. There to play it will be Timmer. That'll be McCumber who will have to set from the back row. And the freshman, Juliana Dalton, looking like she found that one with a touch at the net, and also looked like it was in, although the linesman was ruling it out. But Juliana Dalton, regardless, going to pick up the point on a kill for Washington State, their first of the afternoon. Juliana Dalton setting up there, going for the back row, and that might have been real close, but it was touched anyway, and so 2-1 Washington State as Kalia Williams with the serve. Now a tip attempt from the middle, but unable to connect on that one is Megan Hart, and on the attacking error from Colorado, back-to-back points here for Washington State, and they are now out to a 3-1 lead. So these two teams getting set for battle here on this first Thursday afternoon, and then again on Saturday as Kalia going over to the far sideline. Setting up to the right, and a cross-court attempt dug out that time by Julia Norbu. Dalton back on the attack again, and again after Colorado blocking out of bounds. Well, Juliana Dalton off to a tremendous start in her freshman career. She continues to pile up the kills. The Cougars pretty balanced in the attack, but the freshman has been one of the leaders and is right behind Pia Timmer in kills per set so far this season for Washington State. Well, that'll be a set out to the left for Colorado. Good dig that time by Norville, and Timmer will knock it back across. Now the set to the right for a tip. Up to play at Williams, and this time Magdia Halashva trying to finish it off, but blocked at the net. It's over the net, and Dalton sends it back. Now right at the net, and a block back by Washington State. We get our longest rally early on. A dump attempt was touched by Halashva and then finished off by Washington State. And they've scored now 4 in a row, have the Cougars. So the Cougars looking good on the defensive end, keeping that one alive. And then after it was punched up in the air by Yahalashva, well, Hannah Pukas went on the attack and finished it off for the Cougars. So 4 straight for Washington State. It's now 5-1, and Kalia Williams with the serve. To the outside, flat-footed attempt on a awkward set. So now it'll be a back row attempt for Pia Timmer, and that one's going to miss long. So that'll be an attacking error for Washington State. Substitution here for Colorado. We're going to sing in DePross. She's out of Reno, Nevada, now in her junior season as she comes in to play the back row and also serves for Jesse Mahoney's team out of Boulder, Colorado. As you can see, a southpaw. There to play it, Timmer. McCumber setting from the back row for Dalton one more time, but dug out that time by Colorado. And now a shove up the line, and picking up a kill will be Jill Schnegenberger. So Schnegenberger will pick up the kill now for the Buffaloes. And with that, a point to the Buffaloes as Schnegenberger, one of the leaders on this team in kills per set. As a matter of fact, in kills per set, Schnegenberger's just under a couple per set. And there's an ace now for Colorado right back at it. So DePross with the ace, and the Buffaloes now with 3 consecutive points, and it's now 5-4 after the 4-point run from Washington State. This time Norval with a better pass to Pukas, setting outside for Dalton, and as the Buffaloes went up for the block, they will catch a guilty party in the net for a net violation. Looked like it might have been that time Sterling Parker whistled in the net. Point to the Cougs, and the Cougar setter Hannah Pukas now serving. Came on the scene as a freshman last year for the Cougars, now a sophomore out of the west side of the state. Set to the middle and finding some success there on the sideline. On the middle blocker hit to Rachel Farah. Farah's been efficient this season. Just how efficient has she been? Well, she's leading the Pac-12 conference in attacking percentage. And now Luge comes in to serve for the Buffaloes. Coug set it to the right side for this time Dalton. Another net violation. This time Schneggenberger is caught in the net, and that's going to bring in Penny Tusa to serve. Penny is one ace shy of joining the top 10 club in aces in Cougar history. Senior out of Long Beach, California, and the lone senior on this Cougar roster. That serve will be played nicely and set for Schneggenberger. There to play it will be Tusa. She'll dig it out. And Pia Timmer goes to work and finds the corner. So Timmer, again, the leader on this Cougar team in kills per set, but that young lady right there, Hannah Pukas, has done such a great job of spreading things out to the likes of Juliana Dalton, Magda Hilasheva, and Pia Timmer, all piling up kills so far this season. And there is the ace from Penny Tusa, and she will join her longtime teammate Alexis DeRiggi, who graduated last season, into the top 10 club in aces. She's now got 92 for her career. And so with that, the Cougars, with 3 straight, have jumped back out to a 4-point lead and have matched their biggest lead here in the opening set. Now the set to the outside for Schneggenberger, blocked back. The Buffaloes keep it alive, but the ball, when they were playing it, ended up on the left-hand side of the antenna as the Buffaloes look at it. And that made it out of bounds. It either hit the antenna or just to the left of it, which would have been out of bounds. And as they were trying to dig it out of the net, correctly ruled out of play. So another point to the Cougars, and they're off now to a 10-5 lead early in the first set. Another difficult serve, another ace for Penny Tusa. So Tusa with the ace, and a timeout taken by Jessie Mahoney. The Cougars out to their biggest lead of the opening set as we approach the midway point in set number 1. The Cougars have opened up an 11-5 lead here at Moeller Gymnasium. Well, 11-5 Washington State. The Cougars have scored 5 in a row, and their senior Penny Tusa a couple of aces. Meanwhile, speaking of aces, how about Colorado sitting 2 aces per set so far this season? Meanwhile, the Cougars at just under 1.5, and that puts them both in the top 5. As a matter of fact, Colorado second only to the Huskies, but so far already a couple of aces for Penny Tusa in this opening set, and it's 11-5. So the Cougars still with Tusa at the service line, punched over by Colorado. Now the set outside for a Timmer tip. And now back to the right and up the line, and getting the kill that time is Colorado, and that'll be Rachel Farah. We told you a little earlier that Farah leading the conference in hitting percentage. She came up from the right-hand side, and that one was off of McCumber and out of bounds, but Farah has done a great job all season long for the Colorado Buffalo. She came into this match hitting better than 500 on the season. Pukas this time setting it up for Magda. Blocked back, but covered nicely by McCumber. And now Alexis Lesby with the big swing from the right side. Colorado scrambling, but can't get to it beyond the back line. Alexis Lesby, a good weekend last week in her first really extended time, and she is one of what is 5 regulars for the Cougars that are averaging a kill and a half or more per set. And now the sophomore from the Czech Republic, Magda to serve. Dump attempt, but there to get to it was Pukas. And it will be Lesby one more time, and finding the cross-court kill one more time is Alexis Lesby. And so the Cougars with back-to-back Lesby kills move on top 13-6. Kind of set herself up, and there was just nobody there for Colorado that time on that side of the net. Now again to the right for Farah, and unable to block it down, Pia Timmer. So Farah will get the kill for Colorado. That'll make it 13-7. The Cougar lead is at a half a dozen. That'll send their libero, DeLuzio, to the service line. Sometime setter, but right now libero, redshirt junior, to send it over. There's the set this time, and a free ball for Colorado. Set to the middle, blocked back by Kalia Williams. And now Colorado with the tip, blocked back by Lesby. One more time for the Buffaloes. This time got it around the block, and they're going to say just a bit long. So the point to Washington State on an attacking error after a couple of blocks by the Cougars. They went back to Alcantara, but missed it a little bit long, and the point to Washington State on the side out. And it'll come to Julia Norval's serve, the final member of the rotation to get to the service line for the Cougars here in the opening set. Norval will go up the line. They'll set outside for Alcantara, but dug out by Tusa. And now Timmer with an attempt. Set outside for Alcantara, dug across the net on the overpass by McCumber. She keeps things going. Now a tip that McCumber puts into the net, but a point and a kill that time for the Colorado Buffaloes. And getting at that time for Colorado, as you saw the little tip, it was a good little placement on it, and McCumber came up to do what she could, but Megan Hart will get the kill, and it's now a 14-8 match, and Ewert will head to the service line, the setter for the Buffaloes. All right, set outside for Timmer. That's going to be a mishit and a point to the Buffs, as they will get a point on the attacking air. 14-9 now. Buffalo so far hitting pretty well according to the numbers, but the Cougs are doing better on the scoreboard. Norval there to play it to the outside for Timmer. And now set to the right, and that's going to end up long this time for the attack that time from Colorado, and giving it a swing with Sterling Parker, but missing it wide. And we go back to our initial server of this opening set, and that is Pia Timmer with the Cougars the first to 15. It's 15-9 Washington State. Ewert will set to the middle. Parker tries it, but blocked back by Kalia Williams. And now Alcantara, dug out by Timmer. That's going to be over the net that time, as it was right at the net, and trying to go and make the set was Pukas, but Megan Hart lifted her arm over the net, and that'll be a point to Washington State, and Jessie Mahoney going to call another timeout. Well, the Cougars have been in control for the most part, jumped out to a 5-1 lead. They've improved that lead since and are up 7 in set number 1 of the first of 2 between the Buffaloes and Washington State. Washington State out to a 16-9 lead, and for the Colorado Buffaloes trying to get things going, Alyssa Alcantara has been one player that's had it going this season, hitting .325 on the year, 55 kills to go along with 4 blocks. It has been one of the main reasons that Colorado has had one of the better offenses so far this season in the Pac-12. Again, 16-9 is our count here in favor of the Washington State University Cougars. So here comes the overpass, and right there is Kalia Williams to put it away from Washington State. So the sophomore waiting for that one off the good serve from Timmer. The overpass, and it's right in the wheelhouse of one Kalia Williams to put it away. 17-9 now Washington State. Another good serve. The Cougars are serving really well in this opening set. A couple of aces and a couple of really difficult serves. There's a bad pass, but on the joust at the net, Hannah Pukas will win. It was an errant pass for Washington State that went over the net, and Colorado was chomping at the bit, but Pukas was able to go up and match that time. Megan Hart at the net. The sophomore can be aggressive, and certainly against the Bruins was good, had 11 kills, also 23 assists, and was pretty good last week against the Bruins. And again, just the distribution of the ball to all different attackers this season has been impressive. All right, outside for the Buffaloes. They're looking for a touch, and going to be ruled by the corner linesman, so that'll end up being a kill for the Buffaloes, and Sterling Parker will be credited for that. So finally a 4-point run for the Cougars erased on a side out. It's now 18-10 Washington State. And it will be Clayton serving for the Buffaloes, but that one's going to miss just a little bit long. Maybe a little wide too. It's right at the back corner, but that'll be a point off the service there to make it now a 19-10 Cougar lead. Kalia Williams now serving for Washington State. As the serve about to be delivered. Now the Set to the outside for Schneckenberger. Oh, what a reflex by Timmer to get a right hand on that one for a good dig. Now to the middle, and another good dig from Norville. Dalton goes to work. The Cougars keep it off the deck again, and a free ball for the Buffaloes. Set to the right. Blocked down. Magda Yahalasheva and Juliana Dalton teaming up. Boy, a couple of really good digs keeping the Cougars in the point. And then at the end of the point, Magda and Juliana go up, and it was Juliana getting most of it, but Magda there as well. And the Cougars with the block go on top 20-10. And now Kalia with another sharp serve. The outside for Schneckenberger. She's liked that play so far this match. Maybe something they've seen on tape against the Cougars, because Schneckenberger has unveiled that a couple of times. The sophomore from Irvine, California, who I remember last year bursting on the scene in Boulder as a freshman. She's going to be a good player for a couple years to come for Jessie Mahoney. So 20-11 now, Washington State by 9. And the serve goes back now to DePross. Set for Juliana Dalton, who had to wait for it, and DePross was there to dig it out. Now from the back row, a tip over that Norville dives after. And then Juliana Dalton puts away from Washington State. So the Cougars again a 10-point lead, and the freshman will pick up that kill to make it 21-11. Still catching up on some of the statistics with the monitors. I can't give you a whole lot yet, but we can tell you 21-11, the most important thing, and the Cougars have played pretty sharp in this opening set. Set to the middle, blocked back by Yahalasheva. Now Schneckenberger waiting for it, and she will try and get the kill, but the Cougars again do a good job defensively and keep the play alive. Schneckenberger one more time, and up with the solo block is Alexis Lusby. And the Cougars now out to a 22-11 lead as they have doubled up, and what a block that was, roofing it. The sophomore from Nevada getting the block and a solo block at that for the Cougs. So the Cougs up 22-11, and the serve from Kukas. Set for Schneckenberger, that time nobody home. She'll go up the line and pick up a kill. She's been the main source of the Colorado offense, but for Jessie Mahoney and the Buffaloes, it's been too few and far between. The Cougs have done a great job of sighting them out on an almost regular basis in this opening set. The serve is going to be an overpass, and there to put it away is going to be Jenna Ewert. So she will get the kill off the overpass, and the Buffs do, for the first time in a few points, get a point off their own serve. And it will be another serve for Leger. That went into the net, though, and it's a service error. It's now 23-18. Tusa kind of got things rolling for Washington State. The Cougars took an early 5-1 lead, but the Buffaloes had battled back to make it 6-5, and when Penny got done serving, it was 11-5 Washington State, or 11-6 when Colorado got the side out. The Cougars really haven't looked back since. Another really good serve, but the Buffs do even a better job and get it out to the right-hand side for Farrell one more time. You can see the quality of this Buffaloes team on certain points, and it just hasn't been consistent enough in this opening set. And now it'll be Schneckenberger to serve for Colorado. There to play it will be Timmer. This time to the middle for Magda, who will pick up the kill. Yahalasheva, who is third in the conference in hitting percentage, picks up a kill and now has a chance to pick up the opening set for the Cougars with the serve, as she'll head back to the service line for set point. There to play to Schneckenberger, set to the right for Farah, but dug out by Pukas right at the net, and they joust one more time, and this time Tia Timmer winning the joust, and the Cougars take home the opening set. Well, the opening set in Pullman, Washington to the Cougars, 25-14, as these two teams have been really good when it comes to getting to the other team's kill attempts, as the Cougs ranked number 1 in the Pac-12 at just over 2.5 blocks per set. Colorado just under 2.5 blocks right behind Washington State, as these have been two of the better defenses, and due to some technical glitches, can't get you some opening set numbers here, but the Cougars, it would be interesting to see what that opening set does look like for Washington State. But sometimes technology wins for a brief time, but then we usually get caught back up at our sporting events here in 2021, and the two teams will get ready to head back out there. And it was a pretty dominant opening set for the Cougars. Again, the Cougars rattled off 4 straight to take a 5-1 lead, but then Colorado came back to score 3 in a row to make it 5-4. And then after Penny Tusa had a couple of aces, the Cougars jumped out to an 11-5 lead and never looked back, and ultimately finished off the Buffaloes 25-14 in that opening set. The Cougars, again, we've talked about what they're able to do at the net. Their defense has been superb, keeping the ball off the deck, and we have seen some of those blocks. You saw Lusby with the solo block. We also see Timmer winning a joust at the net on set point, and the Cougars again taking home that 11-point victory in set number 1. Same two teams to play on Saturday. The Cougars trying to get to 5-2. That would technically put them in a tie if you look at the conference and games behind with Colorado, but the Buffaloes would still have just a little bit of an edge in winning percentage. All right, here comes the second set as we get things underway at the service line, and it'll be Parker to get things started. Actually, check that was Megan Hart getting things started for Colorado. Now the set to the back row for Pia Timmer, and the Cougs again drawing first blood, and we'll get a point off of Pia Timmer carry. So, as we take a look at some of the numbers, if they got that opening set up correct, looks like the Cougs went 8-2-26 in that opening set. All right, here comes the Clea Williams serve, and outside for Alcantara. Belt with the kill. Yahalasheva dives after to keep the play going, and a free ball for Colorado. Dumped over, but again down to the deck goes Noble, setting up for Juliana Dalton, but this time the block from Colorado. Rachel Farah and Jenna Ewart were there to pick up the block, and it'll be a point to Colorado to give us an opening tie here at 1 apiece, and now they're libero back to serve. And to the service line, it's going to be Deluzio. Set this time for Naga Yahalasheva to get the kill for Washington State. So the sophomore from the Czech Republic, who's been ultra efficient this season, picking up another kill. So the point to, again, the Cougars, and it's now 2-1 in favor of Washington State. Fucus now to serve. Here comes the set outside for Alcantara. That one's going to miss a little bit long. Check all the parties to see if there was a touch, but there was not. It's a point for Washington State to make it now 3-1 in favor of the Cougars on back-to-back points. Sophomore Hannah Fucus twirls that ball in her right hand before the left hand comes forward. Now from the back row, flying forward, a member of the Buffaloes, but it's dug out by McCumber. Now Dalton goes on the attack, but that one's going to miss a little bit long, and the point goes to Colorado. And that will send their setter, the junior out of Antioch, California, Jenna Ewart, to the service line. So Ewart goes to Dalton. It will set outside this time for Alexis Lusby, who stationed herself on the left hand center this time. And Lusby, who had a couple of good kills in that opening set, will pick up a kill here, and it's now 4-2 Washington State. So Penny Tusa once again now serving for the Cougars. Good start to this one for Washington State. Again, getting to play at home for a second straight week. Here's the set to the right, blocked back by the Cougars. Now outside it goes, touched at the net, but Cougars can't get to it, and that'll be a kill for Sterling Parker. And the Buffaloes get back on the board, and we'll make it a 4-3 contest. Again, Bowler Gymnasium in Pullman, Washington. For those of you down in the Boulder area tuning in, this is a volleyball-only facility, and the other conference schools usually playing in their basketball arenas. Not the case here in Coleman, as that's a service area. Obviously missing the fans who do have the cardboard cutouts here, but the Cougars love this place when it comes to home court advantage, a little more intimate setting. Not sure if that ultimately plays on some other teams when they come out. I know that the fans, when they're here, they do. There's an overpass, and Clea Williams trying to put it away, but it's kept alive by the Buffaloes, and they're able to clear the net. Now it comes to the right for Lusby, who finds the line, and another point for Washington State. They're out now to a 6-3 lead, and Magda Halasheva will head back to the service line. But I mean, the old adage was in this conference you had to take care of business at home, and I still believe that's true even though we don't have the fans. But you do wonder in this pandemic, these teams that can play in what is more of a neutral court setting as far as the atmosphere is concerned, are they going to relish and have more success than the others that are maybe more into playing in front of a full house, and that's where they draw their energy. Kind of have to draw from yourselves and your teammates in this setting in 2021. Set to the right for Lusby. She's going to try for the kill. Kept alive, but only momentarily. Lusby's picked up another kill, and it's now 7-4 Washington State as Norville will now come in for Lusby, who will head to the sideline. Cougars, after playing Colorado this week, will get set for a trip to Stanford as they will take on the Cardinal coming up next weekend. Here comes the set to the middle and an attacking error this time for Colorado. Stanford, of course, got tripped up a couple of times in Tucson to open up their season, so we'll see if they get back on track, the defending national champions. But we'll worry about them next week for you Cougar fans. Right now, Norville at the service line concentrating on the Colorado Buffaloes. Set to the outside and getting that one through and down this time. Colorado, as they'll pick up the point off the kill. And getting the point that time is the Colorado Buffaloes and Megan Hart. Cougs went up there for the block, but Megan went around it, and it's now 8-5 in favor of Washington State. There's a little flip over the net by Hannah Pukis. That time you had the middle of the net for Colorado going up for the overpass, and Pukis thought was still on her side of the net and just went around them, went where they weren't. And ends up picking up the kill to make it 9-5, and now Pia Timmer, the German sophomore, to serve. Dumped over the net. Clea Williams got a hand on it, but Ewert, who does use that on multiple occasions throughout a match, able to pick up a point there, and it's now 9-6. Ewert, a junior, so some experience at the setter position for Jessie Mahoney. And now we're back to Megan Hart's turn to serve. Started off the second set serving. The Buffaloes have not picked up a point off their own serve yet. 6 straight side outs for the Cougars. Alcantara will not give the Buffs a point on this serve either, as it's an attacking error. So that is now 7 straight serves for the Colorado Buffaloes where they failed to pick up a point. Now the Cougars have been able to pick up a few off their own serve, and that's where you see the little bit of separation here as Clea Williams back to the service line with the Cougars up 10-6. Now Alcantara hits one into the net, and again, the Buffaloes struggling when it comes to attacking here. And on that attacking air, they're going to make a switch, and Schneckenberger is going to make a way in as that one hit the top of the net and falls back on the Colorado side of things. So Alcantara over to the sideline. And now Kalia Williams with the serve again, as the Cougars have really served well in this match. And that'll be on the slide a kill for Rachel Farah. So Farah picking up the kill, making it 11-7 Washington State. And first of 2 matchups with the Buffs making their way for their first road trip. As Yahalashua sends it back to the Buffaloes. Now to the outside for Schneckenberger, and there's going to be A point for Colorado off the kill. And so that becomes their first point off their own serve, and it's back down to a 3-point contest. Mentioned the Cougars heading to Stanford next weekend. Meanwhile, the Buffaloes will also, of course, be in action. Here's the set outside for Julia Dalton to pick up the kill for Washington State. It's now 12-8 in favor of the Cougars. So the Cougs getting a point there. And with that, the Cougars move back out to a 4-point advantage. Back to Boulder for the Buffaloes as they'll take on the other team in this state, the Washington Huskies, next weekend. There's Kukas serving, Schnegenberger attacking, but dug out by Timmer. And now Dalton with the attempt off the block, and Colorado can't recover. So Juliana Dalton, the freshman, adding another kill to her total, and it's now 13-8. So the Cougars continue to put together some pretty good all-around action here in this opening match of the two this weekend. A tip from Colorado, diving after it, McCumber, and now it'll be Lesby to set up. Schnegenberger one more time, and got that one through the block, and that'll be a kill for the Buffaloes. So Colorado able to rack up a kill on their side of the net from Schnegenberger. And it's now a 13-9 Washington State lead. Dalton to handle Ewert's serve from the back row. Pia Timmer flies in the 14-9 Washington State. As the Cougars trying to take a 2-0 lead. As the Cougars, after splitting with 18th ranked UCLA last weekend, find themselves up a couple of spots in the coaches' poll as they move from number 24 to number 22. Tusa to Schnegenberger, set outside, and Tusa there to dig it out. Now from the right side, Lesby, but Ewert gets it. And now the set for Schnegenberger on the right, diving after it goes Tusa. Timmer tries with an answer, and it'll be a net violation, as they will call the Buffaloes in the net that time. Megan Hart caught in the net. So 15-9 in favor of the Cougars, as the Cougs the first to 15, and a timeout taken by Jessie Mahoney. So the Cougars, an opening set win in pretty dominant fashion, 25-14. Well, Washington State up a set and up 15-9 this afternoon in Pullman. These same two teams, though, back at it as the Cougars will wrap up a 4-game homestand with another run against the Buffaloes this Saturday here in Bowler Gym. First service scheduled for 11 a.m. on Saturday. You can catch all the action right here on Pac-12+. Looks like we finally have some numbers when it comes to the statistics. How about the Cougars hitting .419 for the match and .471 in this current set. Meanwhile, the Buffaloes for the match hitting just .068, and Penny Tusu's got a couple of aces to the service line once again for the Cougs. And the set will go this time to the middle, but dug out by Kukas, and only momentarily, so a point to Colorado. So 15-10, but again, looking at some of these numbers, I mean, Dalton with 8 kills, hitting .500. Lesby with 5 kills, hitting .714. Your two major contributors for Washington State. Meanwhile, it's been Farah and Schnegenberger with 5 kills apiece for Colorado. And the set comes to the middle, and Naga Yahawashima is going to add her third kill in 5 swings, and the Cougars move out on top 16-10. But the Cougars out hitting the Buffaloes 432 to 083. They've got a couple of aces. Colorado's got one. And how about this number? They're out digging the Buffaloes 26-13. There's a block back by Washington State, and the Cougs also winning that battle as well at 5 blocks to 1. Meanwhile, a tip, block back by Colorado, but punched across by Timmer. Now the set to the right, dug out this time by Kukas. And now Lesby from the right-hand side is going to pick up her 6th kill. And it's now 17-10 Washington State. Lusby now with 6 kills, and the Cougars have their top 2 hitters hitting 400 on the outside with Dalton and Lusby hitting 750. There's the set and the punch across. Oh, a nice job by Magda to keep it going. The Cougars finish it off with the kill from Pia Timmer. Washington State has just brought it on all fronts today. Again, out-hitting the Buffaloes 435 to 078. Out-digging the Buffaloes 29 to 14. And for Magda, she continues to be solid in her play as well. There's a attempt from Colorado, but an easy pass for Pukas. And Lusby one more time, but this time the Buffaloes get to it. And that's off of Yahoashna, almost upstairs up to where I'm at, but not close enough for me to make a diving attempt on it. My diving days are over. Plus, souvenirs like there used to be at the old baseball stadium. I think I'd have to give it back. 18-11 Washington State here after they won the opening set 25-14. You have to imagine the Cougar coaching staff pretty pleased with what they're seeing so far here this afternoon. There to play at Timmer. Set for a Pia Timmer attempt, and she'll get that through the Colorado block, and a point for Washington State, making it 19-11. Timmer now up to a half a dozen kills as well, so we're still in the late stages of set number 2, and the Cougars have Dalton with 8, Timmer and Lusby each with 6, and they continue to lead this one really throughout. We've been tied at 1 in each of these sets, but ever since then, the Cougars have led wire to wire. There's a tip, Dorval there to play it. Now it's Kalia Williams from the right, but dug out that time by DeLuzio. Now a block back by Kalia Williams, and another point for Washington State. We expected this from both sides, really. That's now 6 blocks in the 2 sets for the Cougars, but Colorado so far So far this afternoon, it's been all Washington State. They're up a set, and he leads set number 2, 20-11. It's been rolling right for the Cougars so far in the Fuller Gymnasium. Juliana Dalton, just a freshman for Washington State out of Parker, Colorado, but having a very impactful, not only freshman season, but how about today? Again, we're only in the second set, and already 8 kills for Juliana. She's got 8 kills and a couple of digs, and right there, along with Pia Timmer, leading the Cougs at just under 3 kills per set. You're not going to see any individual Cougars on the top 10 list when it comes to kills per set, but that's because the Cougs have just done such a good job of spreading it around. The Cougs are 4th in the conference in kills, as they're averaging just over 12.25 kills per set so far this season. Set to the right for the tip from Colorado. And now the set outside for Timmer, and she's going to get another kill, and the Cougars now go on top 21-11. Well, a little bit of 2 sides here, and that is that the Cougars have played unbelievably sharp so far this afternoon. The Buffaloes obviously have not, and it bears to wonder which side that goes more to. Is it the Cougars that are causing the Buffaloes to not play as well? And there's a block from the Cougs, and that was a new player in for Washington State, and picking up that block this time for the Cougars. Another one of the youngsters, as you see Timmer going up, and also going up right alongside her that time for Washington State. You saw what was, again, the middle blocker freshman from Bend, Oregon, Jasmine Martin. So 22-11, and there's Martin trying to get the kill. They're going to say a touch at the net, so Jasmine Martin will get the kill. Jesse Mahoney, I am wondering why he wants to challenge at 23-11, because my understanding is he's still getting limited number of challenges, but at the same time, he seems rather convinced there was not a touch there. And we'll see if we get a little better look at a different angle on that. But you're seeing, again, another one of these newcomers for Washington State. Cougs had a lot of impact freshmen a year ago, and we've certainly seen Juliana Dalton, and now we're seeing a look at Jasmine Martin. All right, here's a look on this side of the net. That one goes through, and I did not see a touch that time through. The Cougars were looking for it, and I'm not sure which official came up with the touch, but again, what the down official here, Ben Goodwin's going to have to see is that there was no touch. Let's see if we can get one more look at it. And it goes right by as you see the blocker going up in that left hand. Did it catch a finger of it? We'll wait and see what they determine. They're going to come over, and they're going to say that it is a point to Washington State. So the Cougs will get the point. Unsuccessful in his challenge. Jesse Mahoney, perhaps using that as just kind of a extra timeout at the tail end of this set. The two teams will not have the 10 minutes that they normally would in years past in Pac-12 volleyball after the second set, just the 3. Another errant pass, but the Buffaloes are able to clear the net, and here's Timmer one more time, and that's going to be just a little bit long, and an attacking error that time for what is the Washington State University Cougars, one of their rare attacking errors so far in this match. They had 3 in the opening set, 3 more in this set, as again the Cougars for the match hitting better than .430. And the Cougs are called out of rotation, so a free point here for the Colorado Buffaloes. So making sure that they got things all situated this time around. And the next serve for Colorado. It'll be Pukas going on the attack, but dug out that time by Schnegenberger. They'll set up, and there's a cross-court kill this time for the Buffaloes as they will get the point, and that one's going to go to Megan Hart. So Megan Hart able to get the kill for the Buffaloes that time. 23-14 as Colorado's now scored a few in a row. Here comes the set to the right, blocked back by the Buffaloes, punched up in the air, and Pukas sends it back Colorado's way. Now to the outside, and Megan Hart with one more kill for the Buffaloes, or was that might have been Clayton, I'm sorry. So Clayton getting the kill that time for the Buffaloes. So Leah Clayton will get the kill. And a point to Colorado to make it 23-15 to make the score look a little better here in the second set. Overpass. Colorado has it back on their side. Clayton one more time, and another kill for Clayton. And here are the Buffaloes back within 7, and Kalia Williams going to check in, and Jasmine Martin's going to check out. So the first little lull here for the Cougars, and you see Clayton gobble up a few kills. She's now up to 5 and is even with Farah and Schnegenberger off the bench. And now a service error for the Buffaloes, and that will set up set point here for Washington State. So 24-16 the Cougars after they won the opening set 25-14. A chance to pick up a second set victory and take a 2-0 lead here this afternoon. And here's the serve from Pia Temmer. Outside for the attempt, and this time it's blocked back by Washington State, and that block will finish off the second set. So they went outside to Clayton. The Cougs brought their middle blocker, Kalia Williams, back in, and the Cougars were able to get to it this time. You saw the Cougs have some good times throughout the set as the Cougs again won the opening set 25-14. Second set by a score of 25-16, and the Cougars now leading 2-0 over the Colorado Buffaloes here at Pullman. It's the best of 5 though, so the Cougs need one more. Colorado needs one to stay in this one. Well, 2 sets in the books, and both of them to Washington State in somewhat convincing fashion so far here. 25-14, 25-16. They not going to be over when this match is, though, for Cougar Athletics. The Washington State University men, the Cougar men's basketball team returns to Beasley Coliseum tonight against the 24th-ranked UCLA Bruins. They're ranked 24th in the coaches' poll. Tonight's matchup, the first of 5 straight at home for the Cougs. Tip-off scheduled for 8 o'clock on Fox Sports 1 and the Fox Sports app. Efe Abagidi doing some work on some of the rims around the Pac-12 conference this season. We'll see if he can have a solid game tonight for the Cougars. You know, how about Pia Timmer? 7 kills, 5 digs today. We'll see if she has enough time to get to a double-double. The Cougars would love, with the match coming up on Saturday, to take care of this one in 3. Meanwhile, Colorado trying to extend this match now, as it's been the Cougars who really have had a chance to really jump on Colorado, and that's exactly what they've done so far in this match. Meanwhile, for the Cougars, again, Juliana Dalton has led the way for the Cougars. She's got 8 kills for Washington State. Meanwhile, we mentioned Pia with 7. Alexis Lesby's got 6. Leah Clayton came on and was strong at the end of that second set for the Colorado Buffaloes, as she's now got a handful of kills. But again, so far, it has been the Cougars' day in bowler, but we will see how set number 3 unfolds here on the Palouse this afternoon. Again, 11 o'clock Sunday, these same 2 teams back at it. We've had one match that is now in the books when it comes to Pac-12 volleyball action, and that was Oregon State taking care of Arizona State. They got that done in 5 sets, so a 5-setter for the Beavers over the Sun Devils today. These the only 2 matches, that one and this one, being played in the conference today. Timmer starts off the 3rd set. There was an attempt for the cross-court kill, but missing with that one will be Farah, so a point to Washington State off the attacking air. Again, the Buffaloes came into this 3rd set hitting less than 100 as a team. Meanwhile, the Cougars at 418 so far in this match through 2 sets. And there's an ace for Pia Timmer, and that'll be the 3rd ace for Washington State. The other 2 coming back in the opening set by Penny Tusa. Just unable to play that one cleanly was Clayton, and a point for Timmer and for the Cougs. Now another serve across. That's the outside for Schneggenberger, and she will get the kill for the Buffaloes and put them on the board in set number 3. Schneggenberger now with her 6th kill of the afternoon. Now the Buffaloes back to the service line one more time. This time DeLuzio, and the Cougars unable to clear the net, so DeLuzio able to pick up the ace for Colorado. That'll be their 3rd ace, and that's going to even this 3rd set up at 2 apiece after the Cougars get back-to-back points. The Buffaloes answer. Set to the right, on the slide goes Kalia Williams, and that one a little bit long, and so now the Buffaloes with their first lead in any of the action we've played in. The Cougars going wire to wire in the opening 2 sets. Cougars would just love to finish it off here. The Buffaloes trying to extend things and try and get momentum on their side. Errant pass off the serve, so a free ball coming to Buffalo's way. Schneggenberger trying to put it away, but Williams got a hand on it. And now outside for Dalton, but a block down by the young lady we highlighted at the start, Jenna Ewart, who leads the conference in blocks per set, and she picks up another block from her setter position. And the Buffaloes have now scored 4 in a row. So 4-2 in favor of Colorado. The set for Pia Timmer from the back on a tip. Ewart there to play it. Schneggenberger, but there to play it Timmer. They're going to say that the Cougs got caught under the net. So 5 straight now for the Buffaloes and a 5-2 lead. As the play being called out by Jesse Mahoney for DeLuzio, who is going to continue on at the service line. Timmer on the serve receive, and now Juliana Dalton looking to pick up a kill, but it's dug out by Clayton, and Schneggenberger gives it a go. Now Pukas goes on the attack, but the opposition setter able to dig it out. Now a block by Washington State, covered by the Buffaloes. And another block, Kalia Williams there, as Ewart tried to send it softly across, and Kalia Williams says, I will have none of that. So that'll go down, I'm sure, as a solo block for Kalia Williams, and will stop the 5-point run of the Buffaloes and get a point back Washington State's way. And so with that, the point to the Cougars on the solo block, and the Cougars now with 9 blocks compared to the 2 for Colorado, but a service error will give the serve right back to the Buffaloes. I mentioned the top 2 blocking teams in the conference, and the Cougars have lived up to their billing with what's been 9 blocks in just over 2 sets, but so far the Buffaloes just a couple of blocks in the opening 2 sets. Now it's Yahalashva. The Buffaloes there on the block attempt, but covered by Washington State. Now Dalton goes up the line to pick up the kill. So Dalton threatening double-digit kills here in set number 3, as that's going to be her 9th. Maybe a little extra incentive for the freshman, and you may ask, why is that? Well, because Dalton out of the state of Colorado, Parker, Colorado, as there's a service error, and that'll give it right back over to the Buffalo. So back-to-back service errors, and it's now 7-4. If memory serves me right, she was recruited by Colorado and was recruited by a number of schools, but ultimately chose Washington State to bring her talents to, and has been a great addition as a freshman to this team. Here's the set outside for Clayton, and that's going to be a kill now for the Buffaloes, and for Clayton, who again gotten some work in that second set coming aboard, and she will now pick up her 6th kill, and it's again a 4-point lead for Colorado at 8-4. That's going to sail a little bit long. Sharp low line drive serve that had a lot of steam on it, but a miss on that one for the attempt from Schnegenberger. And now it'll be Penny Tusa's turn to serve, with the Cougars trailing by 3. Colorado, perfect 4-0, one of 2 teams in the conference 4-0 this season that have gotten to 4-0. Utah's actually gotten to 6-0. There's a ball that's tooled off the Cougar block attempt, and another kill for Clayton to make it now 9-5 Colorado. The Cardinal didn't play the first couple weeks, and that's who the Buffaloes were slated to play in one of their opening 3 weeks. They took care of 2 against Oregon State and also 2 against California. And it's a 4-0 start so far against a couple of teams that right now make up the bottom half of the Pac-12 conference standings-wise. Timmer goes cross-court to get the kill for Washington State, and it's now 9-6. And Timmer now with her 8th kill, right behind Juliana Dalton. By the way, in the latest top 25, the Huskies came in as the lone team in the conference in the top 10, as Stanford, again, the defending champs, losing twice, dropped from 7-15. There's a kill attempt dug out by Tusa. Now it'll be Timmer. A nice get that time by Clayton to keep things rolling, and Schnegenberger will clear. Now Lusby's going to bring it back in play, and a free ball for Colorado coming up. It's set outside for Clayton, and her tip, but there to play it's Tusa. And now Williams puts it away for Washington State, and they get a point to get back within 2 at 9-7. And it will be Yahalasheva serving for the Cougars. But Stanford checking in at number 15, UCLA State at 18, and the Cougars at number 22 as far as the polls are concerned. Utah, by the way, the other top 10 team, shouldn't lead out the conference leaders. They came in at number 7. We mentioned the Huskies a top 10 team, but Utah, the highest ranked conference team, at number 7. So 5 teams are receiving enough votes to be in the top 25, and then just outside of the top 25, Oregon and Colorado, along with Arizona State, Arizona, and USC all receiving votes. So you want to play volleyball in the Pac-12 conference, right? Kalia Williams with an attempt, but it bounces off the net, and Colorado able to clear. This time it'll be Lusby, but blocked back that time by the Buffaloes. And now Williams has it perhaps blocked back again. And another point for the Buffs, and they've jumped out now to a 11-7 lead. So Colorado definitely playing their best volleyball of the day so far. Cougars have seen a little bit of a drop from what they were doing in the opening 2 sets, and again, I'm sure the two are corollary, and certainly momentum has a little bit to do with it, but the Cougars, who were hitting better than 400 on the day, now find themselves down 12-7 and are in negative numbers hitting-wise this set. So the opening 2 sets, all Washington State, but Colorado trying to bounce back. They've got a 12-7 lead as we approach the midway point of set number 3 this afternoon. All right, Washington State taking the opening 2 sets in pretty convincing fashion, but Colorado up 12-7 here in the 3rd set. Jill Schnegenberger helping out. She's got 7 kills to go along with now 4 digs on the day. Meanwhile, Leah Clayton also helping out the Buffaloes. So she's come on to pick up 7 kills as well. So those two leading the way for the Buffaloes as they've opened up a 5-point lead on Washington State, who had closed to within a couple before 3 straight from the Buffaloes. And it will be Neverdowski continuing at the service line. Hits, crawls across the net, and there to play it will be Pukas. And now Timmer with the attempt. Now the setter goes on the attack, and Ewert will put it away for Colorado, and they have now taken a 6-point lead here in the third set. That is obviously in a few sports. This one, the other one that comes to mind is tennis, where you play sets and don't have a cumulative scores. There's Pia Timmer to put it away, and it's now 13-8 as the Cougars get a point back. But you can dominate as much as you want in the opening 2 sets. You still have to put it together and win that final set to take home the match. And it doesn't matter how you win it. You can win it by double digits or you can win it by 2. It's how many sets do you win on a given day in a best of 5, or, like I said, tennis, the other one that comes to mind. There's a good dig by McCumber. Now it'll be Tusa from the back row. Diving after goes the Buffaloes, and Ewert looking for the corner but missing it wide. And a point to Washington State. So the Cougs get a point off of Norville's serve and will close the gap. It's now 13-9. Norville playing well on defense for the Cougars. As a matter of fact, is leading along with Penny Tusa with 8 digs apiece, but there's a service error, and that'll give it back over to the Buffaloes. Thing, too, for the Cougs that they did so well in the opening 2 sets is they were able to side out the Buffaloes, but the Buffaloes have had 2 players in particular, DeLuzio earlier, and then most recently Neverdowski, go on some runs at the service line. Clayton now to serve. And it'll be Timmer with the attempt, a block that's kept alive by Tusa, and then the Cougars able to get it over. Good quick attempt that time by the Buffaloes, but Norville with the dig, and Tusa's gonna find the line. So the Cougs, thanks to some good work from Penny Tusa, first on getting to it and then finishing it off there, finding the sideline. So 14-10 is a senior integral in that point for Washington State. Now to the sophomore Pia Timmer. Dumped over again by Ewert, but again dug out by McCumber. Dalton trying to finish it off. It's at the net and clears. And now Dalton one more time, this time with the tip. Now from the back row, a kill from Leah Clayton, the redshirt senior from Danville, Virginia. Coming on in the second half of this match so far. She will pick up kill number 8 and give the Buffaloes a 15-10 lead as the Buffs the first to 15 in the third set. And DeLuzio back to the service line again, and that's where the Buffs got their lead with her there. Up the line, but missing wide will be Kalia Williams. Cougs got the first 2 points off of Pia Timmer serves, and then DeLuzio got to the service line, and Colorado led it 5-2, and they've added to that lead, and they're now up a half a dozen, and Jen Greeney hoping there's still time in the third set to turn things around for the Cougars. Colorado just hoping to get to a 4th set in Pullman. Cougars again leading 2-0, but the Buffaloes playing well in the third set. Well, third set action. Colorado trying to keep things going in Pullman this afternoon. Meanwhile, trying to get things going again. The Washington State University women has basketball back in action tomorrow night in Tucson against the 10th-ranked Arizona Wildcats. Tip-off is scheduled for 6 p.m. on Pac-12 Washington and the Pac-12 Now app. Cougs, of course, got that big overtime win over the Wildcats in Pullman the first time that these two teams met. And then last weekend, their historic win over UCLA, trying to beat up another top 10 team in Pac-12 action. Dalton finding a kill, and with that, the Cougars are back on the board and get the side out to make it 16-11. Meanwhile, Dalton now to double digits as, again, the Colorado native up to 10 kills against the Buffaloes here this afternoon. And now, can the Cougs find some points at the service line? And the answer, at least for the time being, is no. That's their 4th service error of this set. And the Cougs now with 6 total, and again, 4 of them coming in this 3rd set alone. So 17-11 Colorado, up by a half a dozen. And Ewert will serve. Norville passing to Pukas, and Dalton set up one more time, but Ewert gets to it. Schnegenberger from the left, blocked back by the Cougars, and that'll be Pukas and Yahalasheva getting the block for the Cougs. And Hanna to the service line after the Cougars pick up block number 10 on the day. So the Cougs at just over 3 blocks per set. Colorado with 3 blocks period so far this afternoon, but still leading by 5 here as we're getting into the second half of set number 3. McCumber will set, and it'll be Dalton to come forward, blocked back by the Buffaloes, and the Cougs unable to keep it alive. So although they haven't gotten their block going the way that we've seen early on in the season, there's one for the Buffaloes, and Megan Hart and Sterling Parker getting to it. So those two able to pick up the 4th block of the afternoon for the Buffs to make it now 18-12. Cougs will get it across off the serve. Now from the right, but Pukas there for the pass, and now Timmer from the back row, blocked down again, and one more time it's going to be Megan Hart. So Megan Hart with the block to make it now 19-12. So the Buffaloes, who had only a few blocks a couple points ago, up to 5, and Schnegenberger trying to work on a double-double this afternoon. Pukas with the set for Timmer, who puts it over. Now it comes outside for Clayton. That's across the net and out of bounds, and a 20th point of the 3rd set for the Buffaloes. So the Cougars, who took the opening 2 sets, are in danger certainly of now dropping this one and be forced to go at least 4 this afternoon, while the Buffaloes trying to push it to a 4th set. Schnegenberger with the serve, set to the right for Yahalasheva, but blocked back one more time, and now the Buffaloes finding that gear that has them up there in the company of Washington State as the top 2 blocking teams, and that time it was Leah Clayton on a solo, and it's 21-12. The Buffs finding some rhythm now, but a service error will break it up momentarily and get the serve back to Washington State. Cougs, of course, have had every one of their matches go at least 4 sets this season. Meanwhile, the Buffs have had a couple of straight sets victory, 1 4-setter against Oregon State, and they did have to go 5 last Friday against California. Ewert gets a hand on it, but the Buffaloes unable to clear the net, so a point off the serve from Penny Tusa. Cougs have a bit of ground to make up, and a bit might be kind as far as the length. They're down 7, but keep going until the other team hits 25 is what you do in this sport. Tusa goes across, set to the right, and a block back by the Cougs. Yahalasheva and Timmer, so 3 straight points here for Washington State. And at the very least, even if they can't make all the way back in set number 3, trying to build some momentum for the 4th set. Tusa, of course, playing the back row. We've seen her with the couple of aces, also approaching double digits in digs as well. Here's the set to the right, blocked back by Yahalasheva, but covered by the Buffs, and a free ball for the Cougars. Now set outside for Timmer, and a net violation whistled against the Buffaloes. Into the net that time, Sterling Parker, and the Cougs have scored 4 in a row and have taken what was once a 9-point deficit and have made it 5, and are starting to get a little belief that this could be doable. But still some ground to go here, trailing by a handful. Ewert to the outside for Clayton. Good dig by Tusa. And now Lusby from the right, but Ewert up to that challenge. And Parker looking for the sideline and finding it. So the kill for Sterling Parker. And a big point there for the Buffaloes to get Tusa off the service line and get a point closer to 25. If you're the Cougs, you figure you got to get to 24 by the time the Buffaloes do. You have to get 8 of the next 10 points is what it breaks down to. Here's the serve, and that'll be played by McCumber. Set that time for Yahalashva, and she'll get the kill. So there's one more towards the goal, and Magda now to serve with the Cougars down by 5 again. But the other thing, too, especially if you can do it sooner rather than later, is that the closer you get, perhaps does that make the team on the other side of the net tighter. If you're Colorado, you just want to finish this off as soon as possible. That's going to find the back line. That's an ace as the Buffs ducked out of the way, and all of a sudden the Cougs are within 4 and perhaps within striking distance. And Magda again at the service line. A good all-around day today again for the sophomore out of the Czech Republic. Here comes the set to the middle. That's going to take out Yahalashva on the dig attempt. She tried to come away with it as what you'd have to believe is a little smile behind her mask, not because she liked the way it happened, but just because of the way it crept up on her and she couldn't get to it in time. Just laughing at the toughness of it because of how awkward she had to feel going after him. Service error there for the Buffalo, so the Cougs now within 4 here at 23-19. And it will be Julia Norval now serving for the Cougars, and Cougs will probably need at least a couple or more than that for Julia to try and have a realistic chance. Set to the outside for Clayton. That is going to be off of McCumber before it made its way out of bounds. And so now it's down to it for Washington State, and Colorado's got 5 set points to work with. And Leah Clayton going to be the first Buffalo to the service line to try and pick up set point. Of course, the Buffs, if it's not successful here, would still have a few that they could try and get a side out and win the set on. Set outside for Timmer, goes up the line, but that is going to miss, and it's a third set to Colorado after the Cougs take the opening 2 sets, 25-14 and 25-16. The Buffaloes play their sharpest set of the match in set number 3 and push things out to a set 4 today. Set number 3 to the Buffaloes, 25-19. So the Cougars still up 2 sets to 1, but the Buffs have some momentum. We'll keep things going and get ready for set number 4 next on Pac-12 Plus. Well, Leah Clayton, how about her afternoon turning into evening? 10 kills, 5 digs, and a block, and she's hitting .429 for the Colorado Buffaloes. She has had a solid afternoon for her head coach, Jesse Mahoney. Clayton, as we mentioned with the 10 kills here today, is having one of her better matches of the season for the Colorado Buffaloes. So she has come on and has looked really good for the Buffaloes. All right, well, it is set number 4 that's about to begin, with the Cougars up now 2 sets to 1, and the Buffaloes trying to take us all the way to the distance, while the Cougars trying to pick up the victory and move their mark to 5-2 on the season. Again, Colorado coming in a perfect 4-0 on the season. Utah, the only other undefeated team in the conference, and Utah sitting at what is 6-0. All right, so we get set number 3 into the books, and that means set number 4 about to begin. And it will start with Clayton at the service line for Colorado. Timmer to play it. Set outside for Dalton, who goes up the line and will get the Cougars on the board to start set number 4. And the freshman from Parker, Colorado, now having the Cougs' first point of this 4th set is up to 11 kills on the day. She and Timmer, the 2 Cougs to double digits so far. Leah Williams with the serve. Set to the right, and a kill that time on the right-hand side for Rachel Farah. We saw Farah do some damage in the opening set. Has been somewhat quiet since then, but still has 7 kills and a pretty good hitting percentage at 86 so far on the day, and we're even at 1. Dalton one more time. DeLuzio with the dig. Outside for Schnegenberger. That one got through the block, and Norval there for the pass, and Yahalasheva finishing off the point for Washington State. Magda and Lusby have been behind Dalton and Timber in supporting roles this afternoon. They each have a half a dozen kills. Of course, Magda also doing her usual damage at the net with 4 blocks as well. Pukas serving. Now coming forward is Clayton, but that one's going to miss long, and an attacking error gives the Cougars the point, and it's now 3-1 Washington State. Well, the Cougars' attacking numbers took a hit in that third set. They're now hitting .263 for the match after coming out on all cylinders the first 2 sets, and now Colorado at .102 for the match. Pukas, serve that just does clear the net and became difficult to deal with, but the Buffs do that and set up Schnegenberger for a kill of her own, and now Schnegenberger starting to see her numbers climb as she's up to 8 kills on the afternoon. And the Buffaloes get to within 1 and get the serve back. There to play it will be Dalton. To the right for Magda, but this time an attacking error for the Cougars. And after Washington State picks up back-to-back points, Colorado does the same, and we're level again. It's 3 apiece. And Ewert will continue on at the service line with 7 digs on the afternoon. Dalton to play it. Set this time for Lusby. It crawls across the net and ends up out of bounds. So the Cougs certainly not as crisp as they were the opening 2 sets. And now Jen Greeny over to potentially use a challenge here. Thinking perhaps that there was a touch on Colorado before that ball ended up out of bounds. Jesse Mahoney kind of had a look like, don't go after it, that's going to be out of bounds. Now the question is, did Colorado get a piece of it? As the official will take a look at it. As again, it was Lusby in the middle of the net, and then Colorado had it hung up on the net. The question is did it catch a piece of a Buffalo before it went out of bounds? So the Cougs are in their huddle. Meanwhile, the Buffaloes on their side of the net in their huddle, and we'll see if we can get a good look at it or not. Here comes one. It's going to go on top of the net, and then does it touch that middle blocker there before it ends up out of bounds? And that's what they're trying to determine, whether or not it just went on its own out of bounds or whether it glanced off that Colorado blocker at the net. And again, the call on the court giving the point to the Buffalo. So as we see it, it's 4-3 with the play under review. If it's ruled that the Buffaloes touched it, then it would flip-flop and it would be a 4-3 Cougar lead. We'll get another look at it here, this time from the other angle. And again, that right arm is in the vicinity, but can you see it clearly go off the Buffalo? I think the Cougars are thinking that that's what gave the ball the momentum to start its way out of bounds. And the question is did it nick that arm on its way when it was on top of the net? Looks like Ben Goodwin has come up with the decision, and they're going to say no touch. So the point to Colorado, and it's now 4-3 as Jen Greeny gave it a shot, but unfortunately was unable to come up successful in that one. And now we'll see Ewert again at the service line. So she gets ready for the serve, and there to play it will be Dalton. Next touch by Magden. Dalton will go cross court, but DeLuzio there to dig. Now Schnegenberger tries to power through the block, but picked up by Pukas. Now it's over the net and back to the Cougar side. Pukas tries to dump it over the net, and that is going to fall on the Buffalo side, and a point to the Cougars. So tied at 4, and the serve back to Washington State, and it will be the senior Penny Tusa heading to the service line. Meanwhile, the 3-point run for the Buffaloes is over. And with a 4-4 tie, it's Penny Tusa serving for the Cougars. DeLuzio with an overpass that's out of bounds, and another ace for Penny Tusa. Mentioned that she's now in the top 10 all-time in career aces at Washington State. And she's now got 3 to lead the way for the Cougs today, 3 out of their 5, and the Cougars seesaw back out in front. Also 9 digs for Tusa. She's closing in on double digits in that category. This time a free ball for the Cougars after a little miscommunication on the set. Lusby from the right is going to go cross court, and if they can get Lusby going again, then the Cougar attack will start. She was going well early in this match and now has picked up her 7th kill. So 3 straight for the Cougars, and they're up by a couple here. And the serve from Penny. Now from the right side, Schneggenberger going up the line and getting a kill for Colorado. And we'll get the serve back for herself as she will head to the service line. Schneggenberger with now 9 kills, so trying to join Leah Clayton in double-digit kills on the afternoon. That one's going to end up on the line and be an ace for Schneggenberger, as the Cougars just picked up their 5th ace, and that'll be the 4th ace for the Buffaloes here this afternoon. So 6 apiece now early on here in set number 4, where we've already been tied 4 times in the early going in this set, but this time Schneggenberger will miss the sideline. And it will be Magda's turn at the service line, with the Cougars taking a 7-6 lead on that air. Cougars hitting 250, while the Buffaloes hitting 116 today. Again, they've taken 2 of the 3 sets, but so far tight here early in set number 4. From the back row, Schneggenberger there to play it as Pukas. Magda comes up to set, and it will be Lusby looking for the corner but missing. And so we're even at 7 apiece. So 7 aside now, and end to serve for the Buffaloes one more time. It'll be Taylor DePross, junior out of Reno, Nevada. And she is a southpaw and stations herself on the left side of the line as she looks at it. Tusa setting to the middle for Timmer, who gets it through and across and down. And after a few little mini runs, 3 consecutive side outs, and the Cougars on top 8-7. And the serve will go to Julia Norval now for Washington State, as the Cougars looking for a little bit of breathing room. So far, 2 points has been the greatest lead for either team in set number 4. Clayton has it blocked back. Buffaloes do keep it alive. Clayton one more time, and it's blocked back again, but again covered by the Buffaloes. Parker with an attempt, dug out that time by Norval, and then looking for the sideline but missing will be Hannah Pukas. So another side out, and now tied up for the 6th time in the first 8 points. And now it'll be Neverdowski to serve for the Buffaloes, the junior out of Houston, Texas. That's going to sail long, so a service error. 2nd of the set for the Buffaloes. And also the 9th of the match, and it's now 9-8 Washington State. So certainly the match started with the momentum all Washington State, taking the first 2 sets. Then Colorado grabbed momentum, and now still waiting through the 4th set to find who gets the momentum here. Clayton with an attempt, dug out by McCumber across the net. Clayton one more time. Again, McCumber with an overpass, but a dig to keep it alive. Norval got her hands on that attempt, and this time on the overpass, Farah there to put it away for Colorado. So tied up again as we're now level at 9 aside. So after the opening 3 sets, we saw some early separation. This one's nip and tuck with a couple of lead changes and 7 ties all the way up to a 9-9 score here. Pukas to Dalton. Now the Buffaloes with it. Farah going cross court, and the Buffaloes will regain the lead. It's now 10-9 on another kill from Farah. And she matches Schneggenberger with 9 kills apiece. And there's her leader in the kill department today, Leah Clayton. She's the lone Buffalo to this point to double digits in kills. Here's the set this time for Kalia Williams. Played by, this time, Deluzio. And from the back row, Clayton will get the kill. And you can make it now 3 in a row for Colorado. And they're now up 11-9. So now a Buffalo 2-point lead. And the Cougars, who cruise to a 2-0 lead, still leading at 2-1, but now also trailing this fourth set 11-9. It's still quite a bit of ways to go here in the fourth set, but momentum back with the Buffs momentarily. To the right side for Farah, and she will get the kill, and it's now 4 straight for the Buffaloes. And they've opened up a 3-point lead, and Jen Green is going to call timeout. So it took a while for Colorado to get going in this match. Again, they still trail this match 2-1, but after 4 straight points, the Buffaloes now leading 12-9 on Pac-12+. Well, the Colorado Buffaloes, they are out now to a 12-9 lead, and a pretty good performance in this set from Rachel Farah. She's up now to 10 kills and a couple of blocks today. Meanwhile, Leah Clayton making an impact in her first match of the year for Colorado, as she's got 11 kills for the Buffaloes, as she sat out last year as a redshirt, and a redshirt senior, the transfer from East Tennessee State and Liberty, helping out the Colorado Buffaloes with 11 kills, and she is there at the service line one more time. And the Cougs trying to get her off the service line. Timmer with the good attempt. The Buffaloes trying to dig that one out, and you weren't able to get it across, so we keep playing. Dalton trying to get him out of system, and Dalton will put it away going up the line with it. An amazing get by Colorado to keep that play alive, but then they were out of system, and Dalton was able to get the up the line kill for her 12th of the match, and it's now 12-10. And now can the Cougars answer Colorado's 4-point run with a little mini run of their own? Here comes the set to the right for Farrell one more time, and that's going to be a point to Washington State. The corner linesman, I believe, saying he did not see it, so they went to the officials in the chair and down, and Margie Ray said out of bounds. So a challenge here and a play under review once again as the challenge from Jesse Mahoney. That was ticketed for the back right corner and right at the linesman, and he said he did not get a good look at it. So we will see if we can get a good look at it to see whether we can determine whether that ball is in or out. And the down official again over taking a look at the monitor, as we will have a chance to see if that one has a chance of being overturned here, as the official downstairs taking a good look at it for a couple of angles, as Jen Greeny and Burdette Greeny, the associate coach for Washington State, the husband-wife combo for the Cougs, over there coaching up the players during the timeout. If it does stay called out, then it will be a point to Washington State, and will bring them to within 1. Here comes the ball up the line, and that is going to be right there. So it's certainly in when it comes to the end line, but is it out of bounds on the sideline? And I think I see some red in there. I think that ball is going to be out. But we will see. It certainly looks like there might be some red between the ball and the white, but is there enough of a look, and do they have a different angle that they're looking at? But I think that we're going to see this one probably stay point to Washington State, but we'll see. Again, ruled out of bounds, and so with that, the Cougars would get a second consecutive point. Jesse Mahoney had a call earlier. They're going to say that it was indeed in, and they're going to overturn it. So, okay. So, again, the point to Colorado. One more look at it here. And the question is whether or not that caught a piece of the line. And the official saying it did. So the point to Colorado, and it's now 13-10. All right, here comes the serve from the Buffaloes after the overturn. Dalton to knock it over. Here's the set for Schneggenberger, an overpass that time on the dig. This time to the middle for a tip, and that'll fall in on Megan Hart's tip across the net, and the point to Buffalo, making it now 14-10 Colorado. So the Buffaloes now finding some success after we're tied at 9. They have scored 5 of the last 6 points. Norville to Pukas. Now it'll be Timmer going up the line, but DeLuzio able to dig it out. And Schneggenberger has it blocked down that time by Hannah Pukas and Magda Yehalasheva. So 14-11. Colorado has got their offense cranked up in this set, hitting .333. The Cougars at 118. They will try and get their offense firing on a more consistent basis to make up a little ground here in set number 4. Schneggenberger has it blocked back one more time. One more time for Schneggenberger, and blocked back again, this time by Lusby. One more time to the Will. This time goes over the block, dug out, but then it is put away on the overpass by Megan Hart. So 15-11 Colorado. And back in to serve for them. It'll be Ewert, as she's been in, but back to the service line. This one will be played by Dalton. Set for Lusby. Over it goes. Now Schneggenberger has it blocked at the net. Stays on the Colorado side. A joust at the net. Won by Magda Yehalasheva. She dueled with Megan Hart at the net. So the sophomore able to show some strength at the net there. And the Cougars get a side out. And it'll be Penny Tusa now serving for the Cougars. Certainly still some ways to go in this 4th set, but getting deeper into it now as we're across the midway point at 15-12. Good serve by Tusa. Set to the outside, up the line, but there to play it Pukas. And now Timmer. To the right for an attempt that time from Schneggenberger, but dug out by the Cougs. And there's Tusa from the back row. Now Schneggenberger one more time. Tusa got an arm on it, but they're going to call the Cougars in the net. So another point to the Buffaloes, and it's now 16-12 Colorado. As the Buffs have found their footing on the Palouse, and again, the interesting thing that the schedule brings us is that we see these same 2 teams in the same location again Saturday morning. There to play this one will be Timmer. Set to the right for Lusby. Blocked back, though, by the Buffaloes. Clayton and Megan Hart getting there for the block, and the Buffaloes are trying to send us to the distance here today. Washington State, the opening 2 sets, but Colorado grabbed the 3rd, and they're leading 17-12 here in the 4th. Well, Jill Schneggenberger, along with Leah Clayton and Rachel Farah, helping lead the Buffaloes on a comeback today. Schneggenberger, the 3rd of the Buffaloes to get to double digits with now 10 kills. And after dropping the first 2 sets, 25-14, 25-16, the Buffaloes have seized momentum. They took the 3rd set, 25-19, and now out to a 5-point lead here in set number 4. The Cougars have a way to climb their way back into this set and win it in 4. Do we go 5 on a Thursday night now in Pullman? There's Magda with the attempt, but Colorado able to get to it, and Clayton going up the line. Powers that one over as Pukas plays it back across the net, and now another big kill attempt from the Buffs. Cougars keep it going, and Lusby unable to clear. So you can certainly see that the Buffs have got a little more bounce to their step as this 3rd and 4th set have been going on. And the Cougars now find themselves in a 6-point hole here in the 4th set. And here comes the serve from Schneggenberger. They will set this time for Timmer, and this time it's Colorado who's caught in the net, as they will call Sterling Parker into the net this time, and a point to Washington State. Well, the Buffaloes have done a much better job since the opening 2 sets of limiting the Cougars on their runs at the service line. The most we've had recently for the Cougars has been about 3 points in succession. Now Magda will try and start a Cougar run as they set it to the middle. There's a block that comes to the Cougar side. Now Lusby set up, and she will pick up the kill for Washington State. So back-to-back points for the Cougars. And it's now 18-14. Lusby with the kill. She is up now to 8. Magda with 6 kills and 6 blocks on the day. Set outside for Clayton. Digging it out that time, Yahalasheva. And now Kalia Williams finding the back corner. And a point for Washington State, as they've now scored 3 in a row. And the Cougs have cut the 6-point deficit in half and are back within 3 now. Yahalasheva's serve, played by Schnegenberger. Clayton tries it and will tool it off a Lusby block attempt. So Clayton able to get the point back to Colorado's side, as she will pick up her 12th kill. She will stay in the front row. Meanwhile, coming into the game will be DePross, as she will now serve. Comes in and serves when the spot in the rotation comes up. And the serve will be played by Timmer. Set to the right for Lusby, who will pick up the kill for Washington State. And the Cougars will have to do some more of that if they want to win this 4th set. And that's keeping it to 1 and done on the Colorado service line. Meanwhile, Schnegenberger and the Buffaloes trying to force a 5th set here this afternoon. And we say this afternoon, but we're approaching 6 o'clock here on the Palouse, so becoming more of this evening. Short serve this time from Norval. Set to the right, touched at the net by Timmer, and then Tusa plays it. Now they'll set it outside for Timmer. This time Clayton with the big hit, and that'll end up off of Kalia Williams and out of bounds for the kill for Clayton. But we also have a challenge here. It's a net violation that Jen Greeny wants to see if the Buffaloes were in the net on one of these plays in the point. Meanwhile, that play deflected off of Kalia Williams at the end, so that's not what's being challenged. What's being challenged is whether or not the Colorado Buffaloes were into the net. So here we are. There's the player, Leah Clayton, going up for the kill attempt. And we will see if we can see anything more on that. One of the angles that we have, and one of the things that our official downstairs is looking at. Again, a pretty important point here. If it does go to Colorado, they would be up 4, as you see on your scoreboard, as they put it to the Buffaloes. Another look on this swing here from Clayton, if that's what they're looking at downstairs, and not seeing for sure where that foot comes down, and is there any contact there? We'll see again as they continue to come to the conclusion, and looks like we've got ourselves a decision. And so the officials coming out and saying that it's going to be Colorado point, and Jen Greeny will get the explanation of what he saw, and certainly from those 2 looks, if that was the play that the Cougs were challenging, and not enough there to overturn it. So a point for Colorado, and it's now 20-16. And now serving for the Buffaloes, it'll be Luget. Puka's going to go on the attack herself and pick up the kill. So the serve right back to Washington State. And the Cougars have been successful the last couple of Colorado serves to make them 1 and done. But now can they get points off their own serve with Pia Timmer? The next one up for Washington State. That's a good serve. That's going to be an ace for Pia Timmer. And the point to the Cougars will make it now 20-18. Timmer picking up her second ace, so she's got a couple. Meanwhile, 3 so far for Penny Tucson, the other one belonging to Magda. And the Cougs are within 2 now. And now Timmer's next serve. Here comes the set to the right, and a tip from Farah. Blocked down, and a solo block by Juliana Dalton. So the Parker, Colorado native coming up with a big-time solo block. And the Cougars, who were down by as many as a half a dozen not too long ago, back on the doorstep. Juliana Dalton has brought the Cougars to within 1 as we close it to the wire in set number 4 in Pullman. Well, Washington State back to within 1 as we are closing out set number 4, and the Cougars trying to close out the match up 2 sets to 1. And how about Juliana Dalton with 12 kills today, the freshman from Parker, Colorado, trying to do damage against Colorado on this Thursday evening now in Pullman. And the Cougars with not only 3 consecutive points, but they have scored 7 of the last 9. And the Cougars back on the doorstep within 1 at 20-19 here. So some late momentum for Washington State. And Timmer out of the timeout, still at the service line, and Ewert will dump it over to get the serve back now for Colorado. So 21-19 in favor of the Buffaloes, and the serve goes to Leah Clayton. As the Buffaloes take a 2-point lead as we are now in the late goings of set number 4 here tonight. That serve played by Timmer. Set to the right on the slide for Kalia Williams. Blocked back by Schneggenberger, though, on a solo block. And after the timeout, huge back-to-back points for the Buffaloes. As Schneggenberger read it, went up, and was able to block it back and pick up the solo block for her 7th. And actually make it her first block to go along with 7 digs and 10 kills. That ball's going to sail out of bounds, and on the service error, the Cougars will send Kalia now to the service line, trailing by 2, 22-20. Meanwhile, Yahalasheva joining Dalton and Pukas in the front row for Washington State. So the Cougs looking for a short serve here from Kalia. Set to the outside for a Schneggenberger swipe across. Now Pukas going on the attack. And the southpaw finding a spot on the other side of the net. And the Cougs are within 1 again. So back-to-back points from the Buffaloes. And now back-to-back points for the Cougars. It's 22-21 now. And it was Anna Pukas going on the attack for the Cougars again. A 1-point 4th set here in Bowler Gym tonight. Well, back-to-back points for Colorado, followed by back-to-back points for Washington State. And we've got ourselves a 1-point 4th set again. Pia Timmer helping lead the way. 12 kills, 8 digs, so getting close to a double-double. Has also chipped in with 4 blocks on the day. And the Cougars are back within 1 more time. We were tight in this one early on with 7 ties all the way up to 9 apiece, but then the Buffaloes jumped out to an 18-12 lead. And now the Cougars have rallied back and are within 1 here, 22-21. And the serve against the sophomore Kalia Williams. And her serve, another short serve. They will have Ewert try and dump it across, dug out by Norval, the overpass, but Kalia there for a good pass, and the Cougars trying to put it away, and they will. Magda Yahalasheva with the kill. Ewert tried to finish it off, but a good dig by the Cougars to keep it alive, and then it was finished off by Magda to bring us to our 8th tie of this 4th set. And now Kalia to try and give the Cougars the lead again. That's her backing up to play at the Buffalo. Set to the right. Cougars go up for the block. They got a piece of it. Normal with the pass. It's a joust at the net. Back to the Buffalo side and a free ball for the Cougars. Magda to Pukas. Outside for Dalton. And Juliana Dalton with the kill. to give the Cougars the lead, a lead that they have not had in a long time. The last time the Cougars led this match was 9-8, but we also have a challenge, and it's under review here. So we will see with the Buffaloes challenging that the Cougars were in the net. So we will take a look at it if we can get a good look at it. Again, the Cougars able to get the point on the scoreboard for the time being. And a terrific comeback here, and here comes the look at it as the set goes up, and saw the Cougars were right there. That was over the net, and then a little bit of jostling at the net, and the question is was there a net violation on the Cougars there? So a pretty good look at it there, but is that enough to overturn a net violation that was not called? As we've seen our down referee call some net violations throughout it. So we'll see if we can get another good look at it. Is it the ball that makes the net move, or is it the Cougars in the net? Obviously the ball is there, but did the Cougars on the way up get a piece of it? What is causing that net to move? The ball as they joust for it there, or the Cougars in the net? And we will find out what we will have here. Coming over, and it's going to be point to Washington State. They ruled that it was the ball that made the net move, and you saw that perhaps with the official going over to talk to Jesse Mahoney, saying that it was the ball that was on top of the net. That was a pretty good look. Let's get one more look at it here. And you see the ball come down, and yeah, that is what made the net move, and a nice job by Hannah Pukas to stay out of the net. So the first lead for the Cougars since they were up 9-8. The pass comes out to Schneckenberger. Good dig by Dalton. Now another block, and we've got this time the Buffaloes in the net. So a violation against the Buffaloes, and all of a sudden the Cougars, after scoring 5 in a row, have a couple of match points here. So the Cougars, who were down 18-12, have gone on a 12-4 run and now have 2 match points. Here's the serve from Kalia Williams. Here comes the set to the outside for Schneckenberger. She's going to miss it, and the Cougars are going to win this thing. So Washington State in 4 this afternoon. The Cougars cruise in the opening 2 sets. 25-14, 25-16, as the coaches say, good luck to you the rest of the way, except for the next time we play on Saturday. The Buffaloes had momentum, won the 3rd set 25-19. We're up 18-12 until the Cougars came back to make it a 1-point game. And with the 22-19, the Cougars come back to score the final 6 points and win this one in 4, 25-22. Juliana Dalton, the Colorado native, with 13 kills, via Timber had 12, and the Cougars win it in 4 as the 22nd ranked Cougars improved to 5-2 on the season. And for the Buffaloes, they suffer their first loss of the campaign